You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
Even though walking in the snow is a pain, some NIU students are choosing to do just that instead of riding the bus to get to their next class. Good evening, I'm Lauren Baker. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Carolyn Butvilas. The Student Association is responding to the problem students are having with the Huskie Bus not stopping close enough to their classes. NTC reporter Nicole Schenberger tells us more about how SA is working with the students to change the bus routes.
The NIU Huskie Bus helps a lot of students get to where they're going, but for others, it's nothing but a hassle. The closer you live to campus, the easier it is to walk to and from your classes. Some students choose this method over getting to and from their destination over using the Huskie Bus system.
I choose not to ride it because I like walking and I don't like being in crowded buses every day.
Many students have brought their complaints to the Student Association, and they have decided to try and help out. SA has started developing focus groups to try and meet the needs of the NIU students. The groups are based on the students' needs and wants rather than the university's.
Because we feel that students have a need for change in the bus system. We want students' input, and therefore we develop focus groups for that input.
The first focus group was based on gaining more access to classrooms near Barcema. The route formed from the focus group is called the Barcema Express, which will help students get to Barcema and the engineering building faster. The next group will meet on March 24th in the Campus Life building. Many students are not shy on what they see wrong with the system.
I think it's a necessity, but it's not a very good one. It's a convenience, especially in this weather. You need to get a warm place to travel, but it's not as crowded as it is.
If you have some concerns on the current routes, either attend one of the focus groups or tweet at the Huskie Line's Twitter account, because your issues could be other students' issues also. In DeKalb, Nicole Schenberger, NTC News.
Thanks, Nicole. The city of DeKalb is looking to complete a project that would connect two area bike paths. The project would connect a trail that runs through Prairie Park to one that runs along the East Lagoon on NIU's campus. Negotiations will soon be underway with the Union Pacific Railroad Company to build the paths under the railroad tracks. The project is expected to cost just over $1 million.
A Sycamore man is being held in jail after firing an arrow at his girlfriend. 38-year-old Brian Baskins was arrested last Friday when prosecutors said he choked his girlfriend and then unsuccessfully fired an arrow at her. Baskins is due in court next month and could face up to 5 years in prison.
A DeKalb County Sheriff deputy collided with a snowplow truck earlier yesterday in Belvedere. The deputy was transferring an inmate from Boone County Jail back to DeKalb County Jail. No one was injured in the collision.
If you have on-campus health insurance, you might want to consider another provider. The NIU Board of Trustees is talking about raising the cost of university-provided health insurance by about $200 per semester. Students with an outside health care plan will still be able to opt out of this. The Affordable Care Act forces the university to make changes in its insurance coverage. The Board of Trustees is expected to vote on the increase later this month.
Lunch prices are going to be increased by 10% in DeKalb schools. School officials agreed to raise lunch prices based on the requirements of the Child Nutrition Lunch Program. The federal government will reimburse about $3 for every lunch served to students who receive free or reduced price lunch. The changes will be in effect starting next school year.
The Sycamore City Council has denied a proposal to turn a house into a sober living home. DeKalb County City Council members wanted this property on East State Street as the location of the living home. The home would be converted for male drug addicts and alcoholics in the Drug and DUI court program. Sycamore City Council members wanted a different location, preferably one they owned.
Be on the lookout for new banners around the Sycamore Park District. A new policy allows for nonprofit sports organizations that use soccer, football, and baseball fields to sell space around the fields. The advertising guidelines apply only to parks owned baseball diamonds. Banners have to be the same size and cannot promote tobacco or liquor. Officials hope that this will be an effective way to raise money for the local youth sports and bring attention to local businesses.
Many people prefer to stay bundled up indoors when it's freezing cold outside.
But some people have a better time playing out in the snow. NTC reporter Katrina Parada shows us how DeKalb families enjoyed the day out for the Park District's first Polar Palooza event.
Ice hockey was just one of many activities the DeKalb Park District planned for this year's Polar Palooza. The first annual event was hosted at Lions Park and River Heights Golf Course. The DeKalb Park District created the event in efforts to make the community come together and be more involved.
We hope that it will bring the community out to do more outdoor winter activities, that they will learn what types of activities are available in their local park district that they can come out and do as a family or as an individual.
In its first year, the Park District believes the event was a success for the community. Parents bundled up their children in their winter gear to enjoy a day outdoors in the snow. Kids were able to roll in the snow instead of staying inside their homes for a change. Parents of DeKalb were glad an event like this was hosted.
We love events like this where there's kids' fun activities and something fun to get out of the house in the winter is nice.
Other activities families participated in was watching rescued husky sled or watching an ice sculpture be made. Raven's Husky Haven and rescue trainers were also present to teach kids about huskies and how they make great pets. Polar Palooza was created after a new superintendent of recreation was hired.
It's the first year the Park District's had that position, and she stepped in and took a look at some of the activities and decided we needed to bump things up a bit. Plus it just sounded like a really fun activity no one else in town was doing.
Even if it was for a couple hours, DeKalb families enjoyed a chance to have some winter fun. In DeKalb, Karina Parada, NTC News.
That looks like a great way to indulge in winter weather. And speaking of weather, it's time to take a look at our weather window for today and tomorrow.
Kyle Jacobs is here with us now. So tell us, are we going to be seeing any warm weather soon?
Things are going to start to turn around once we get into spring break, but right now things are still going to be pretty icy. If we take a look at the weather map here, the whole area is going to see a lot of sun but a lot of wind. And we're going to see temperatures in the mid-teens, 12 DeKalb, 16 Chicago, 14 in Peoria. But stay with us, you're watching NTC News.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Hey everyone, let's take a look at today. 18 degrees are going to be our high, significantly lower than that normal of 41, but our low, -1, is a lot better than that -12 they had back in 2012. This chilly weather is atypical for the area, but the whole region is feeling it. Dallas, Albuquerque, all the way up into Canada and over to us. But luckily for Atlanta and Miami, they're feeling higher than normal temperatures, but that's going to change because all of that ice and snow we've been having is going to push out down across them and off the coast. Up around us, we're still going to see some snow. We're still going to see, I'm sorry, not snow. We're going to see clouds. We're going to see chilly temperatures. But if we look into tomorrow, that high pressure system is actually going to push a lot of that away. We're going to see clear skies, but it's still going to be chilly. If we take a look at tonight now, partly cloudy, -1 at the low, but it's going to, our real feel is -15-degree weather because of all that wind. Now tomorrow, our high of 12, it's not going to really matter because it's still going to feel like -16 degrees out. And that wind's not doing us any favors tomorrow night, -3 of the low, but our real feel is even colder at -17. But as we look at my 5-day forecast, things are changing. That 12, -3 overnight, but then 30 on Friday. As we go into Saturday, Sunday, we're going to start seeing shorts weather. 39 on Monday, so spring break, we're going to start seeing a change around. Even our overnights are going to be higher than the highs we've been having all week. Well, that's all we have for weather. Let's send it back to the desk.
State lawmakers are trying to bail out child care programs.
And the head of state schools says the governor's budget will push already struggling schools too far. Let's take a look at today's state lines. State School Superintendent Christopher Cook says Illinois school districts already struggling to get by can't afford a funding cut next year. The governor has proposed an increase of about $300 million. The state school board says it needs much more than twice as much.
State Senate Democrats have introduced a plan allowing the use of special funds to keep subsidized child care and other programs from shutting down. The budget gap in those programs are more than $1.5 billion.
Bad news for Deadheads. Chicago officials won't be letting Grateful Dead fans camp overnight around Soldier Field this summer during the band's 350th anniversary shows. Up to 70,000 people are expected for each concert over the 4th of July weekend.
The historic Rialto Square Theater in Joliet may need $1 million worth of additional repairs. Some of the work is just needed to keep the building safe after they discovered pieces of terracotta splitting. The Rialto opened in 1926, and that's today's State Lines.
Iraqi troops try to take back an ISIS-controlled city.
And the Israeli Prime Minister's speech didn't sit well with the White House. Here's what's happening in today's World Watch. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's highly anticipated speech has fueled the global debate on Iran's nuclear capabilities. Netanyahu spoke to Congress, making a sharp case against a deal to limit Iran's nuclear ambitions. President Obama is firing back at his critics who say negotiating with Iran is not the answer.
Iraqi troops are trying to recapture the key city of Tikrit from ISIS. The extremist group has controlled the town since last June. This fresh offense will gauge how effective the coalition's training has been for the Iraqi army. There are around 30,000 fighters involved.
The House of Representatives has approved legislation that will keep the Department of Homeland Security funded through September. Congress had to agree on a week extension. Tuesday's vote passed the House 257 to 167.
The lawyer for Edward Snowden says his client is ready to return to the United States. Snowden has lived in Russia since he leaked thousands of classified documents to media outlets. His attorney says Snowden wants a guarantee of legal and impartial trial before coming back. And that's today's World Watch.
Two final home games played and two send-off victories. I'm Brett Tudela for a casual Wednesday edition of NTC Sports. The NIU women's basketball team earned a victory earlier today, beating the Toledo Rockets by a final score of 68-64. Amanda Corral had a big afternoon, scoring 25 points, grabbing 7 rebounds, and adding 4 assists. The men celebrated their senior night last night with a 2-point victory over the Western Michigan Broncos. Senior Aaron Armstead led scorers with 17 points, and DeKalb native and senior Jordan Treloff sealed the victory with a block and a rebound in the closing seconds of the game. Sticking to our basketball theme, however, but jumping to the pro game, the Bulls faced off against the Wizards last night. It was their first game without starting backcourt of Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose, both out 3 to 6 weeks with different injuries, and forward Taj Gibson sat with an ankle injury. Late stages of the second quarter, Aaron Brooks will feed Pau Gasol coming up here, and Pau gets the two-handed flush. Fourth quarter now. We're skipping ahead here. Kirk Heinrich feeds Nikola for the three-cola as Mirotic hits the corner three-pointer. More sharing from Brooks later in the fourth quarter. He'll find Tony Snell, and if you smell what Tony is cooking, that means 3 points for the Bulls. This time, Brooks will call his own number, dribbling off the screen from Mirotic. He'll pull up from 3. That gave the Bulls a 10-point lead, and the Bulls would put it away by a final of 97-92. A very impressive shorthanded win for the Bulls, heading down the home stretch of their season. Heading back to the college game for our play of the day, pitting two of the newest members of the Big Ten Conference against each other, Rutgers and Maryland. Maryland's Des Wells gets a pass in the short corner coming up here off the screen, and he'll drive past this guy baseline, and he'll go up and slam it down on 2 Rutgers defenders. We'll get a closer look here as you can see a third defender coming up, but Des Wells doesn't care as he throws it down. That's all for sports on this Wednesday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you in a few weeks.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent?
What?
Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
A long-lost World War II relic has finally been found.
The gargantuan warship was not only the heaviest of its time, but it was also one of the most lethal.
You're looking at what historians believe is one of the most famous shipwrecks of World War II. Explorers say this is what remains of the Musashi, a Japanese battleship. U.S. Navy forces sank the gigantic vessel near the Philippines in October 1944. The location of this ship has been a mystery for over 70 years. The rediscovery was made by a team funded by billionaire Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft.
What a fascinating discovery.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that that ship is relatively intact.
Before we say goodbye, we want to remind you that daylight savings time begins this weekend. So turn those clocks ahead 1 hour. And it's also a good idea to check the batteries in your smoke detector.
And we want to give a quick shout out to our own DeKalb County, founded on this day in 1837. Happy 178th birthday, DeKalb County. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a safe spring break. We'll be taking off the week with everyone else. Thanks for watching.